Right, it's 12 minutes past 11. Thank you very much for choosing SABC. Of course, we're giving you that coverage throughout all our provinces. And we're going to move to Mpumalanga now, where the ANC is the runaway leader in that province with vote counting at about 74%. The ANC has won 68% thus far of those votes. Now, that's 10 percentage points lower than 2014. The EFF has doubled its results, though, from 2014, scoring over 12% of the votes. Let's cross now to that province where our reporter Siphephile Kunene is standing by for us. You're in Mbombela at the IEC Centre there. Good evening to you, Siphe, and I understand that you'll be talking to some of the smaller parties there that are represented. What do you have for us?
Yes, we're coming to you live from the IEC in Mbombela. We'll be talking to the smaller parties representative. They are represented by Sipho from Riawosa. They're complaining about a number of things. They want to know if there will be arrests made for those people that have voted twice, because there are already about 2-3 cases that have been reported, but no arrests have been made as yet. And as well as that, the marking ink that was used has vanished. Some of the people were able to vote twice because that ink couldn't stick. But Sipho has more on that. Sipho, you just had a meeting with the IEC to sort of sort out this issue. How far did you go? What is it that you're complaining about?
Good evening to you and the viewers at home. We indeed had a meeting this evening at 9 p.m. With the IEC here in Mpumalanga. Our concerns are the concerns that are now all over the media and also surfacing throughout the country. That number one, there's the issue that people manage to vote more than once. Number two, it is very much clear that when you look at the issues of the ballot box, they are all over the place and they are unguarded. In one incident in Komazi, the IEC official was caught with 3 boxes without supervision or monitoring. So these are the issues that to us as emerging political parties contesting these elections, we are very much concerned that at the end, the accumulative effect of these discrepancies may suggest that the elections are not fair.
Okay, now, what do you want the IEC to do now? Now that we are here, we are at 79% with the vote counting. What do you want the IEC to do moving forward? As smaller parties, we can see the ANC is not complaining, EFF is not complaining, DA is not complaining, but you, as we go down with the list, are complaining. What are you expecting from the IEC?
Thank you very much. It is a tragedy to our democracy that those who seem to be benefiting from the discrepancies don't see the need to complain. You see, we are not complaining because we want to benefit ourselves. It is to the benefit of our democracy that the processes be fair and free, be transparent. Now, what we expect from IEC, in our meeting, IEC has already acknowledged that there are gaps, but they seem not to be holding the same view as us as to the extent and the seriousness of those discrepancies. Those discrepancies to us, where a person has managed to vote more than once, is a serious discrepancy to us. And we expect IEC to come to bring about a recourse to that, to say, for example, if indeed the extent of this discrepancy would suggest that the elections be rerun, or before the rerunning or while preparing for the rerunning of the elections, we agree that we go to a government of national unity. All the parties that participated in the elections form that government of national unity. And then the next step is we begin to prepare for the next elections.
Okay, thank you, sir. The smaller parties are basically saying they want a rerun of this. They're not happy with the way in which things have been run by the IEC. Moving forward, they are calling for this, what's happening here, to be considered null. And then we will move on to the PAC. Now we'll be speaking to Walter Likuleni. Walter has a lot to say about these elections. Tell us more, Walter.
Thank you. I think firstly we need to debunk the myth that we are smaller parties. All the parties that come into the election pay the same amount of money to participate. They meet the same criteria. It is required of each and every party that participates to meet the same requirements. Therefore, there's no smaller party when it comes to elections. Secondly, maybe it is based on what has happened in the past as to who got so many votes in the past. But coming to the current elections, we believe that as a party, we echo the same sentiment of all other parties that are raising a concern. We are saying you cannot have multi-party voting, multi-party democracy that is deemed to be credible when there is multi-voting by individuals. Because as we stated, how many people can you actually confirm voted twice? There are incidences that have been raised with the IEC. The IEC seems, in Mpumalanga specifically, seems to be playing a role of a sounding board, not of a role of solving the problems. We still say, as the PAC, that as for these elections to be credible, you need to have a fair system where if there are 10 people voting, it should be 10 votes that are counted. You can't have a situation where 10 people vote twice and then you have 20 votes. It's a serious problem. There's been an issue about the election observers. We need to say, as the PAC, it's very clear that election observers look at the freeness of the election on the basis of violence towards elections, during elections and post-elections. And the knowledge that they come up with in terms of observing, their argument has always been that if people have not been prevented from going to vote, people have not been killed after the elections, people are not killed during the elections, then the elections are free. But being fair is based on numbers. We are saying if the system has failed, where there's what was needed to be an indelible ink is no longer indelible, it can be removed, where a system where should have been able to prevent a voter going twice into a voting station or even more than twice is not working, then that system is not good. Therefore, our appeal has been, there's two processes that we have asked. We have said to the IEC, we believe that the discrepancies are big enough to call for a rerun of the elections. But as a stopgap measure, we support the motion where we say there's been 27 parties that are participating. The seats in this province are 30. Maybe we should go on a government of national unity where we prepare to run credible elections where people don't have the chance to cheat the system. We accept that there are those who are benefiting from the proceeds of crime, and they would not complain.
Okay, you also complained about the IEC not being objective in the whole thing. You accused them of not being fair. How far has that gone? After you had the meeting, do you iron that out?
We're not able to iron it out. Like I said, they acted as a sounding board because all they said to us was that they hear us, they'll escalate whatever problems we have with them to national IEC, and national IEC will take a decision. Our understanding is that as a provincial IEC, dealing with parties contesting in the provincial elections, they should be able to take a decision. If they are unable to take a decision, what are they here for?
Oh, okay, thank you. That was the PAC complaining about what they call discrepancies and gaps that came with these elections, of which they are calling on the IEC to do something about it, failing which these elections won't be considered as fair. Now we're speaking to Sbusiso Nkosi, who's from the IEC. The smaller parties are complaining. What's the stand of the IEC?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Siphephile, I said I will come back to you to tell you about the progress of our capturing here. Like I promised you earlier, I told you that around 10 o'clock will be around 80%, and we've managed to do that. What the political parties are talking about, they have understood what our management has replied to them, and what our position is as the provincial office, and I think they will follow suit and implement what management has promised, or rather has directed them to do. But talking about our business, we are just over 80%, and I promise you that around Saturday, as promised, we'll be able to deliver 100% of the results.
Now, who's at the front? How is it going? All along, it was ANC, EFF, DA, Freedom Front Plus, BRA. How is it happening now?
The results are still sketchy. It's not complete. The picture is not yet a full picture. It will start taking shape once we have, some of the bigger municipalities, results being tallied. So, I can't say now which party is leading, and then tomorrow something changed, and then, you say it's Busiso is a liar. But, I think everything is going well. We'll speak tomorrow, and then I promise you that we'll have a better picture.
Talking about municipalities, how many municipalities have finished counting? When we spoke earlier, we were at 6. You were waiting for the 7th to submit. How far has it gone now?
We now currently have tallied 9 municipalities. Others are continuing to audit their results and continue to capture. Things will change, as I promised you. We'll spend our second day without sleep here until we deliver the results to the people of Mpumalanga.
Just a brief idea, which municipalities are those? I know you counted Victor Kanye earlier. Which others have submitted now?
Mkondo has submitted, Pixliga Seme has submitted, Dipaliseng has submitted. We have Tabacheu, we have Msugalikwa, or rather, we have Albert Lutuli. A host of a lot of municipalities have submitted. Only those which are bigger, like Nkomazi, Mbombela, and Bushbuck Ridge, are still lagging behind. But we'll get there.
Give us an idea how many municipalities we have in Mpumalanga, so that maybe we can work out how many are left if you are at the number that you're mentioning now.
Like I said, we've got 17 municipalities. We've now tallied 9, and now we're left with 8.
Thank you so much. That was Sibusiso Nkosi from the IEC here in Nelspruit. What's worth noting is that all along the BRA, Better Residents Association from Bushbuck Ridge, was just on the heels of the EFF, but this time around, as the results trickle in, they are just after Freedom Front Plus. Freedom Front Plus has surpassed them. And another thing is that the EFF continues to be just after the ANC. So right now we are... The picture looks like the ANC at the top, EFF, DA, then the Freedom Front Plus, and then BRA, and then the other smaller parties, even though they don't want to be called smaller parties, are coming through. Back to you, Florence, in studio.
Right. Thank you so much, Siphephile. I don't know what to say now, because we have been saying the smaller parties, and you would have heard there the PAC representative saying that we need to debunk the myth of smaller parties, because they pay exactly the same as all other parties when it comes to registering. Well, this is a very interesting thing to say. But I guess when we say smaller parties, we're talking about in terms of support, right? I think it's a fair enough thing to say in terms of that. All right, let's take you through to Mpumalanga legislature. Right, you can see you have the graphic there up for you on the screen right now. The Mpumalanga legislature has 30 seats up for grabs, and you will see there the green, the majority of which will go to the ANC. There's 22 seats there, and of course, as I say, these are predictions based on the 63.6% voted districts counted as thus far. So the ANC at 22 seats out of that 30, the EFF having 4, and the DA at 3 seats, and the FF Plus at 1. And then you'll see there the other parties combined. Well, it's a 0 there. I'm sure it'll be a 0 point something. But in any case, when we talk about the percentages, it means that the ANC is at 73.3%, and the EFF at 13.3%, and the DA 10%, FF Plus at 3.4%. And just a reminder that in Mpumalanga, of course, that voter turnout was at 66.65%. Right, so that's what it's looking like in the Mpumalanga legislature thus far, based on predictions. That's for the race for seats in that legislature. All right. And we're going to take a short break for now. And after the break, I'm going to take you back to The Rock, the IEC Center in Pretoria with Siphephile Kunene and